Hi everyone, welcome to our studio Voice of India. I am your Rahi Gupta. We have a very special guest in our studio, a very successful entrepreneur, Mr. Kamta Rai. Singh. Kamta,
Good,
welcome to our
good
studio Voice
afternoon
of
and
India.
welcome, and thank you for having me here again.
Yeah, Kamta, life is a challenge. It's a very difficult. Many people go through this difficult exam. Some fail in it. Lack of confidence in them. They don't utilize their potential. They try to copy someone without realizing everybody has a different question paper.
Yes.
In the last interview, you very well explained the where you are now, the kind of challenges you have faced, kind of different phases you have gone through, which was very inspirational. Many people. I like to in today talk discuss about the success of Caribbean people in Canada and their success because Canada is a country full of opportunity.
Yes.
This is a country built by the immigrant.
Yes.
Everybody play a very major role in it. I just want to see what is the history of Caribbean people coming in Canada, how successful they are, and what are the phases they go through with.
Well, like every other immigrants coming to countries such as Canada, I would even said USA, even British, England, United Kingdom, I think give us an opportunity to be
Explore.
better as a human being when you come to working, build a better life, have a better quality of life, and they produce some qualities such as healthcare, security and safety, where we don't have in our country. The political system is more a level playing field. You don't have as much racism as such. They treat everyone equally. You don't have, where it's low caste or high caste.
And plus, it's a multicultural society too.
Definitely, and also with the diversity of multiculturalism, it also helped. And I think with the work ethics that was built in us in the Caribbean country, as such as myself, enable us to come to country as such that we can able to do better and strive for better. Because looking back, like myself, coming to a country like many immigrants, like Canada, it's a dream for my parents. They feel this like Ram is going to Bandas and come back because when he go there now, he'll be better and he'll make all of us better.
And a tremendous sacrifice too.
Yes.
By the parents to let the kid go that
Yes.
far. Yeah, it's true.
Because it's very emotional because they felt it. The child is leaving, but they know deep down that it's better, and as such, it turned out to be better. Like myself, I brought my parents, I brought my sister, my brother, my nieces, my nephew, who all is doing very well.
Very good. Yeah.
And even when I was here, provided for my parents back home, was able to give them a better way of life.
No, Guyana got independence in 1966 from the Britishers, right?
Yes.
So Britishers had before it was under Dutch also, you know.
Yes.
So the Guyana has an influence of Dutch and the British culture.
Yes.
Okay.
And French.
And French.
Yes.
Yeah. So what kind of the education system is there?
Guyana, for example, is the only English-speaking
Okay.
South America country.
Yeah.
And where everybody else is Spanish. But because of the British, they made us part of the CARICOM.
Oh, I
And
see.
because of CARICOM, we were included with all the other Caribbean countries, which there are 21 Caribbean countries, and we only have about 7 million people in the whole of the Caribbean.
But does it has a territorial dispute with Venezuela and some other neighbor countries?
Had been some dispute over a century with the one of the island or part of Guyana. We have three main territories: Demerara,
Yeah.
Essequibo, and Berbice. Essequibo is close to Venezuela, and Venezuela is well known for an oil country. And now Guyana, they have found major oil in Guyana, which is in Essequibo.
That was discovered. Yeah. It
And
has.
now the battle
Big boost to
came
the
back
economy, yeah.
that Essequibo are saying this is their land. So it already had went to the World Court. It already had been settled. But because they found the oil within the last 2 years, Venezuela decided to brought up the case again, and they're dealing with it professionally.
What kind of economy is the country?
Guyana is a very rich resource country. In fact, I said rich in resource in any one of the Caribbean country. They have a slogan for Guyana. Guyana is a breadbasket of the Caribbean. And why is that? We have fruits and all
Sugarcane,
you name it,
so many.
sugarcane,
Unbelievable,
rice,
yeah.
bauxite, mineral, oil now, fishery is major, and you have a lot of self-independent person who have their own farm, that they have their own private sugar estate farm, their own private rice field, that they plant their own rice. They have their own crop that they plant. A lot of them do their own poultry as such. So Guyana is very, very rich with resources. Unfortunately, like everything, if you don't have a good mother and father in your house, you'll have a bad home. If you have bad government,
Parenting is a very...
then exactly is what happened to the country. Because of bad government, the country is corrupt, and a lot of people are suffering. And Guyana has lose over 1 million people migrated from Guyana to foreign countries and neighboring countries in the Caribbean as well as South America.
Yeah, Kamta, tell me something. What kind of political system is there? How is the political system set up?
It's very democratic. They mainly have two main parties. One is called the PPP, which is the People Progressive Party, which is mainly Indo party with an influx of many of other immigrants like Portuguese, Chinese, African as well as part of the PPP. But they're mainly the East Indian Party, which was formed by Chetty Jagan.
Okay, yeah.
And Chetty Jagan is well known in the Caribbean. And then you have the PNC, which is the People National Congress. And the People National Congress is known as an African party, which was run by many years by LFS for Samson Bornham. But as such, they were amalgamated 5 years ago, where they have an East Indian party join with the PNC. And, they were there for 5 years. Now they're out of power because of the same thing. It's corrupt. And they lose power. And we have one of the youngest prime president of the country now named Ifran Mohammed Ali. He's 40 years old.
Yeah, very young, yes. Yeah. No, what is the population of size of population? About 780?
Guyana, it had been stabilized for about the last 15 years or 780, but they have a lot of influx of Venezuelan who are former Guyanese, went to Venezuela because of the situation in Venezuela. A lot of them came back to Guyana.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You have also a lot of immigration now from the Caribbean are coming to Guyana. Even Haitian is coming to Guyana. So I would say there are now close to about 850,000 people in Guyana.
Okay, but what is the secret of being population Hindu, Muslim, Christian, and their interaction is so united when we see outside people from that part of the world? They live in such a peace and harmony. What is the secret behind?
The real secret is that when the British brought the East Indian from India, such as Calcutta, Bihar, etc.
And Uttar Pradesh, yeah.
And Uttar Pradesh, when they came, they were both Indian.
It was in 1986 something?
The first boat came in 1838.
Okay.
And it came from the boat called Whitby, and it sailed from Calcutta. In fact, the date that they started was on Saturday, 13th of January. 267 immigrants.
In the year?
In 1838.
1838, yes.
They took on 112 days to arrive in Guyana.
Okay.
And they arrived at the first county called Berbice.
Okay.
And the total of 181 immigrants were unloaded. 166 men and 6 women who was accompanied with their husband. 2 boys, 5 girls, 2 infants. Whose gender was stated as mostly male, but there were 45 Muslim on that same boat that came to Guyana. Now, the secret, why are we living in harmony? When they came to Guyana, they all had to struggle for the same purpose.
Okay.
The
Survival.
same reason. They all had to survive, it doesn't matter who you are. And as such, they were learned to live like brothers and sisters because the struggle was the same, the fight was the same. And
away from home,
yes,
isolated from, okay, yeah.
And so that love embedded in them, and that continue up to today in fact in Guyana, in Trinidad, or wherever there's East Indian and Muslim. It's a real joy to see that how we live as one.
But most of them ending up working in the sugarcane farm.
They all were working the sugar estate.
So Britisher got them
That's
from by boat and forced them to
So
stay.
what happened in by 1838, the British abolished slavery.
Okay.
And when they abolished slavery, it was mainly the African who was working on the sugar estate. And because they abolished slavery, they now fall short of labor. And this is how they started being brought the Indians, which include the Muslim, from India.
Yeah, India was ruled by
That's right.
Britisher by that time.
And so were the British who started to do that, and they started to bring them, and they worked mainly on the sugar plantation. It's later they started rice and other resources.
But many people who ending up staying in Guyana, can they trace out their ancestor?
There is presently in Guyana where they have an archive now that you can go and able to trace. You can look at the archive and you can go back to India and they will able to help you where you can able to trace them.
But your ancestor came from Bengal, right?
In fact, my great grandfather from my dad's side, his name is Suraj Bali Singh, who is one of 11 children, came from Calcutta.
Oh, from Calcutta, okay.
And he's met his wife on the boat, and they get married, and they also have 11 children.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes. And in fact, I have a picture on my phone about him.
What a sacrifice they made, making such
Tremendous
a big distance,
sacrifice.
Right?
They were fooled because they were told that they will give them a 5-year contract to come to work on the sugar plantation. In fact, the second country that East Indian arrived in the Caribbean is Jamaica.
Jamaica, okay.
In 1845. And then the third country was Trinidad and Tobago, well as 1845. So
everything
came in the same
by British.
Yes, by the British. And because they also had sugar plantation in Jamaica, and they also have in Trinidad and Tobago. Guyana was the main resources for sugar plantation. That is why they brought them. The question was how they're able to survive. Well, they were living in what they called mud houses.
No.
They call lojis. And doesn't matter who you are, Hindu or Muslim, they're always living in the lojis, and that's where they were as they sooner or later they start to fight for the rights, struggle for the rights, and they're able to move on to do better and better things. But they were always living in mud houses that they call lojis. They're always cooking in mud, where they make things that we call fireside. They have the pukni that they will, light the fire.
Tremendous sacrifice, my God.
But the greatest thing out of all of it is that they never forget their culture. That was the beauty, because the culture, I think, keep them together. The music, and they came with the music. They came with the tabla, they came with the dolak, they came with the dantel, the harmonium, right? They came with the music, and they make up their own music as well. And so those were things that unite them, keep them together, and it turned out lots of them after 5 years do not have money to go back to India, because what the British said, if we're gonna save your money to book your passage, you have to work enough that we can able to save it.
Oh, I see.
So by the time you come around to 5 years, they do not have enough. So then they resign another
Ending
5
up-
year.
Ending up there.
And they end up
Certainly.
staying there eventually, because some of them start their own family, they start their own family as such, and then next thing you know, Guyana.
Yeah,
Trinidad.
you were telling a very interesting story about your great grandfather.
Yes.
Yeah, share with our
Well,
viewers.
my great grandfather Suraj Bali Singh, when he came to Guyana, as I said, there were 11 brothers and sisters, and he, when he got married, also made 11 brothers and sisters. In fact, his first child, his daughter, is my Aji, which is my grandmother. And when India gained independence,
They were given chance to go
Nehru,
back here.
yes, he sent boats back to the Caribbean and said, "You're free to come back."
Okay.
Right? And my grandfather, who never went back to India, was decided to leave. But his 11 children held on to him and said, "No, Papa, you cannot leave. You cannot leave us. You have to stay here." And he did that. He stayed. He never went to India. He never ever went to India. He never sees his other 10 brothers and sisters, or even his own parents.
That's a sad part.
It is, but he built a mecca of his own. He built 11 children who went on to have children and children and children. In fact, I have over 500 families through him living in Toronto, in Ontario.
And very well connected.
Yes, very well connected.
Tell me the secret of the Guyanese people, their passion about cricket and calypso music and things like that.
Well, music.
How did the cricket become? Because the British are
The British, yes. The British, just like India, cricket was one of their what they call sportsman game. So in the afternoon or weekend, they will have cricket, and mainly they're the one who playing cricket. The Indians or the Africans or anybody else were not allowed to participate in. Eventually, slowly but surely, one or two of them started to participate in, but they start to play the game themselves.
Oh, I see.
And they start to develop themselves, and they start to get better. And as they get better, they start to arose to represent the West Indies or the countries such as Guyana, Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados, etc. So, so this is how they start to play because of the British, and they learn the game. And in fact, cricket is the #1 sport in the Caribbean. And
no, I see that passion in many of Caribbean people I meet, the passion about the cricket and all. You yourself is a pioneer in Winnipeg, supporting the cricket game,
definitely.
encouraging many people. Tell your story.
Well, the thing is, I learned from my dad. He was passionate of the game. He loved the game. In fact, there's a saying, without my dad in my village, there's no cricket. So through him, I gained that same love and passion for the sports. And the sports give me a lot. It gave me a lot where I can able to travel, see a lot of people, make a lot of friends, and
but
also
you contribute so much in the local, encourage so many
and
youngsters.
I decide to give back, and so I give back to the entire Caribbean community, where I run a program for the past 21 years, coaching children between the age of 6 to 14. And I started the program under the umbrella of the Guyanese Association of Manitoba, and then went on to include on the Maple Community Center and Seven School Division everyone.
And everything free.
Everything for free, that's for sure. We provide all the
and the
equipment.
people in the year round they can practice too, even during the
That's
winter
right.
time, to indoor.
We have indoor, which is start in November to April, and outdoor we start from May until October. And again, the program is free for the children. The point is that I look at it that the children although it's a sport and it's a beautiful game. In fact, it might be the #1 playing sports around the world. Possible soccer is close, but this is a culture to our children, and we want to give them a culture. And I thank my dad to provide that to me because it made me who I am, cricket. So yes, it's very passionate, and it's no difference than India or Pakistan or Bangladesh or
For a sportsman.
or Sri Lanka. Cricket, the family is behind it. When the game is playing, your wife is there, your children is there, your brother is there, your sister.
Everybody's so excited.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is not just a sport. It's a.
It's
culture.
not a winning and losing. It's just a game.
As we said, it's a way of life. Now in Guyana, you do have a lot of temples. Mainly we have the Sanatan and we have the Arisamat. And then we have the mosque, which is the Muslim. And they also have, a lot of the temples have their own cricket team.
Oh, really?
And even the Muslim.
So cricket is in their blood.
In their blood, yes.
I see.
In the blood.
Tell me something. Whenever there is a festival, either is a Hindu festival or Muslim festival, Eid or Diwali, I see the enthusiasm. Everyone, regardless of their faith, they meet each other, greet each other. What is the secret behind?
Well, just like how in India, which is recognized for Pagwa or Holi or Diwali, where you have Muslims, they celebrate Eid or any one of their major celebration. Because of the way they have grown up in Guyana and in the Caribbean, they celebrate together. There is the celebration there. You respect.
That's very unique, though.
It is. It is very unique because the point is that although we know you're a Muslim and you're a Hindu, that is behind the wall when we are celebrating. We celebrate as one human being. We celebrate as friends. We celebrate as brothers. We celebrate as sisters. And at the end of the day, yes, I'm Hindu. I would not eat the beef, but
Other people respect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They respect it. Same as the Muslim, they know that we don't need it, they will not offer it to you. So we respect that
Respect
part.
each other feeling. Yeah.
But the way of life, it's they don't look at any different. And there are a lot of interracial marriage.
Yeah, that's a key.
Right?
Yeah.
Where a lot of Hindus marry Muslim or vice versa. And you will find if the husband is Muslim and the wife is Hindu, they will both go to the temple.
I have noticed that.
You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
and the husband will be there. He will assist and help whatever he wants. He wouldn't go to the altar and pray, but he's there. Vice versa, the wife will go to the mosque and she will not participate in it. He will, and she will be a
They
volunteer.
respect each other. Yeah.
Yes, they respect the culture, respect the religion, and there are many like that. Many interracial marriages such as Hindu and Muslim, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. There is no, what's the word? There is no, see violence in them when it comes to those two religions. If somebody hurt a Hindu, you hurt a Muslim. If you hurt a Muslim, you hurt a Hindu. That's how they live.
Yeah, I find it very united though. Yeah.
It is, and it really starts because they have to fight for the same reason. We do not have caste system in the Caribbean. They do not have that, and that's because of how they struggle. They had to struggle, and how they have to live to fight for the same rights.
Highlight something about the culture life.
The culture. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, music was something that unite them and keep them together, and as such, that developed in a way where they built a lot of temple. And I will tell you, I give myself an example. My dad, my parents, which obviously learned from his parents, we have in our yard a secret spot where we go in the morning and we offer prayer by throwing dar, and we will look where the sun is east. And then when we finish prayer there, we go in our house where we have another secret place called the altar, and we will pray there as well. And we still go to the temple on Sunday morning, or mainly when they have many other functions like Hanuman Jayanti, Sita Jayanti, Ram Navami, you name it. They have programs, and we will go to the temple.
What is surprising is when I see people from Caribbean, even this is the fourth generation.
Yes.
Whenever there is any ritual, religious, they do so precisely, no shortcut way. Sometimes I wonder, fourth generation, they are still so strong. I really salute people like that. They maintain it so well.
Yes, yes, and we need to salute our foreparents. We need to salute them because they are the one who maintain that. They brought that passion, they brought that culture with them, and they maintain it. And not only maintain it, they spread it passionately with their children and their families, and that's why the culture is so deep rooted.
Let's talk about the Bollywood. Bollywood music, Bollywood movies has become very popular there too. That's the only source of entertainment, right?
Yes.
And anytime I see a long time, they have the big concert come, all the film stars and the magician, they feel welcome.
Yes.
Each time they go in Caribbean, they get the warm welcome, and they have so much fan over there to share something.
Well, I use myself as an example. My dream is go to India. Like India is the second heaven for us because we always look at India as Mother India. Our roots come from India. So music and the passion of Bollywood music, when we see the stars, we want to be like that. So it's a passion to see the movie, and believe me or not, it's where another part that keep the Indians together, because they have so many movie theater in the country like Guyana and Trinidad, and even country like Suriname, which is a Dutch country. They have movie theaters. So every time an Indian movie open in India is in the Caribbean, part of Guyana as well, and those movies have English subtitle. And the Indians, they go there, they meet, they love the music, they love the song, they love the dancing, they love the stories. And these are, you can listen to my parents will talk about the movie for the rest of the week.
Entertaining. It
is. And we, most of us do not understand Hindi, but we will dance those music like It's a food to us.
Yeah, it's true.
It's energy to us.
But many elderly people I still see, they still speak broken Hindi.
Yes.
You know, and I'm really surprised. Fourth generation and still
Well,
carrying
you
on the
know,
language.
I use both of my grandmothers, for example. My nanny side, she
Speak
could
Bhojpuri.
Yes, and she at one time in Winnipeg was teaching the senior program, the seniors English, and she can only do that because she know Hindi.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So she know Hindi and English, and she can do a puja without the Ramayana,
Yeah,
without the Bhagavad
I'm
Gita.
surprised I see that. Yeah, without any book, they memorize it. Yeah.
And that's because she got that from her grandfather and her great grandfather. They were both sadhus in Guyana. In fact, one of them, I don't know if the grandfather or great grandfather, is the founder of Samaj in Guyana.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's through them that, all they know to speak is Hindi. It's no English. So they correspond in Hindi all the time, and that's go from one generation to the next.
Well, for your knowledge, our Voice of India has started a Caribbean program.
Yes.
Weekly, and got a tremendous response.
Yes.
So play the chutney music, play the calypso, and all that too. And
well, this is another part. Suriname was really the first country that started playing Indian music. Somehow they were more advanced in technology. So I recall, like 4 a.m, you started to hear the song Suhani Rat. And they used to play it in more of a musician style.
Oh my God, it's so.
And you woke up every
so
morning
soothing.
with that song,
Yeah,
Suhani Rat.
Oh yeah,
And it's so soothing.
Yeah.
And Trinidad and Tobago really is a country that, who I will say, mature more in Indian music, because they came up with something called chutney music.
Sure. But it's mixed up together. It added so much beauty with the fast beat and all that. You really love it though.
If you listen to the song, clearly,
Same
it's
song we
always
enjoy
a
so
story.
much. Yeah,
It's always a story, maybe a boy like a girl, or the girl is driving a fast car, or something of such. But the music is fast. It's very high tempered.
Yeah.
And it also makes up some local
involving
words,
all kind of
yes.
involving different all kind of ages.
It was
Small
beautiful.
children, grown up, everybody enjoyed that one.
And that is known. Trinidad have a national, every year they have a competition, chutney music competition. They give a very high price for first place, second place, third place. So that maintain that standard of competition. The same Trinidad also brought out calypso. As well as the same time we had reggae music.
Reggae music, yeah.
Right? And then we have the great Bob Marley with calypso as well. So you have all these music in the Caribbean, but there's nothing when you come to the Indian music is the best.
Entertaining. Tell us something. How strong is your community in Winnipeg?
In Winnipeg here, we have 4 temples, which is I would call Caribbean temple. You have the Ramakrishna,
We have Arya Samaj,
Winnipeg, yes, Ramakrishna,
Dharmic Sabha.
Manitoba Dharmic Sabha. You have the Shanti Shiva, and you have the Arya Samaj, and then you have those 4 are 4 major hub for the West Indian or Guyanese or Trinidad. Then you have organizations such as the Guyana Association, Trinidad Association. Those are 2 associations that somehow is there to help the
And they celebrate the Diwali and the religious festival and get together.
Exactly. So at the temple, they maintain that level where they celebrate all these functions. And it's no difference. It's Ram Navami, we fast and go to the temple. And if it's Navratri, no difference. We fast for that 8 days and 9 nights. We do the same thing.
No, I really like the idea of a meet and greet.
Yes.
The initiative started like people like you in the senior center.
Yes.
Tell what is so unique about it.
The beauty was, we had to find something to do for the
Meet
seniors.
and greet, yeah.
And this was the first program where we bring the West Indian and the East Indian
Elderly
together,
people.
and we call it Meet, Eat and Greet. That's really what is it. And every month we form a program, such as said, okay, this could be a Diwali function, or this going to be a Pagwa function, or this going to be India Independence Day, or this could be Guyana Independence.
Yeah, it was almost every second week there is something going on, right?
Yes,
and
it
people
was.
look forward to go.
Definitely. We started a program 11 years ago. Every second Friday we have a program.
Music night, and there were a lot of fun. Yeah,
It was entertainment night where they will entertain themselves, play music or tell jokes and dancing. That's entertainment. And you have whereas bingo nights, they come and play bingos and win prizes. And then you have
sightseeing. Once in a year, you rent a bus and take the senior to some different places. Yeah.
Once a year we have the senior bus trip. We'll choose somewhere where they like to go, and let's say it's Ho Beach, or if it's they called Gimli
Beach and things.
or where we went to St. Malo several times as well. So we choose it, and they will.
And the senior look forward to come out of the house. They have opportunity to meet and
Definitely.
the same age people.
The beauty,
sharing. Yeah,
you're bringing the West Indian and East Indian together, and this is like you go to India, or they came to the Caribbean, because they're all sharing the same food, right? They're sharing the same dish. Somehow the dish is different.
their relationship. So,
But they eat it. But the relationship they build and the bond they have, because a lot of them are single, they now have new friends, someone to call, someone to talk to, someone they can share whatever.
with a similar type of situation, both are. Where Kamta, you have never been to India, and you look forward to go one day. Maybe I will help you in. Well, it's nice to you. It's nice to have you in the studio today. You share many cultural things with the Guyanese. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah,
And
it's a pleasure to be with you.
as I said, I'm not a historian, but
You see
whatever
that's
that I
right.
can share, I can simply say, from India to the Caribbean, over 500,000 Indian came to the Caribbean. And in the Caribbean, you have Guyana has the most, Trinidad, then Jamaica, but now Suriname has the third most.
Third most Indian
Yes.
people.
And as such, Guyana was able to have 5 different presidents. Cheddi Jagan, which is East Indian, Bharat Jagdeo, Moses Nagamutu, you have Donald Ramotar, and now we have Muhammad Irfan Ali.
Right.
And Trinidad has Basdeo Pandey
Baldev, yeah.
and Kamala Prasad Bisasar. And 5 of that, 5 out of the 8 of them came from Bihar.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
Kamta, pleasure talking to you. We look forward to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining.